Hello and welcome to today's video where we're going to be covering the LCS player moves between spring and summer splits, as well as one move I forgot to cover in my LEC video, Carmine Corp swapping out Vladdy for Saken. Sorry, swapping Saken out to bring up Vladdy from Carmine Corp Blue. These are rumors. Some of these are not confirmed. We're just going off of what we see in the rumor mill. I hate getting into the mud with the rumor mill, but teams are dragging ass on actually having contracts be signed and being officially announced. I don't get the hold up, but hey, that's LOL esports for you, I guess. People just can't get their shit together and actually get these contracts signed and official and make their announcements so their sponsors are happy and things like that. So KC Vladdy is brought up. Vladdy had a great split with KC. That team obviously is one of the best in the LFL, if not the best, year in and year out. So the kid had a good split. Now, there are some things that are concerning that would warrant maybe not bring him up yet, but Saken just struggled so much at times that it's like, okay, you need to replace him with somebody. They also signed Abadage to play on KC Blue in place of Vladdy, and personally, I think they should have just played Abadage instead of Vladdy altogether, but neither here nor there. So Vladdy had some good numbers. I think he was, I don't know if he was a rookie, or it was obviously his first split with KC, but I don't know if he's a rookie or not. 4-6 KDA, 9-3 CS per minute, 69 KP. Very good CS numbers for a mid laner. Above 9 is great. He definitely surpassed that test. 1.46 return on investment is not that strong. Not a lot of damage coming out of Vladdy. Not a lot of damage out of Saken either. But 23.1 gold share, 28 damage share. So he still came through as a secondary carry on KC. The team in general just didn't deal a lot of damage. 50 gold ahead, but that's pretty much nothing and went even in CS and XP. So the fact of the matter is he was not dominating LFL mids and in EU Masters, in the EU Masters in spring, in the first 15 minutes. And that's a struggling bit for me because if you... so his KP is solid at nearly 70%. So 2 out of every 3 kills. Maybe he's roaming, making things happen, and then the mid to late game gets farmed. Entirely possible. I don't watch Academy. I don't watch ERLs. We just look at stats for players in those regions or tiers, if you will. So not getting the farm in the early game. If he is not gaining leads on LFL mids, then what is to be expected when he has to play against Caps, Humanoid, Larson, Vethio, players of this nature? I think that you're not going to, have a good time, in my opinion. You're going to spot them leads, and if you're going to spot them leads, you'll be punished for it. 10 solo kills in 40 games, 13 champions played. Azir, Orianna, Talia, very... traditional champion pool. Saken, his numbers were not awful, but there were just moments that made you say, okay, this guy should not be in the LEC. He had an opportunity many years ago. He got a second chance, and personally, I'm not shocked to see him go. So 3.2 KDA, 8.9 CS per minute, 68 KP, 1.58 return on investment. I mean, at a higher level of play, his damage to gold ratio is better than Vladdy's. So he's more aggressive. 22.7 gold share, 28.7 damage share. He was the carry in damage for KC. He does deserve credit for that. The bot lane not really coming through. Down 160 gold, 4 CS, 175 XP, 3 solo kills, 11 champions played in 18 games. I said this about Cabo yesterday. When you are struggling, you need to find an identity. You need to find something that works. And picking champions in every game picking a different champion every game, when you're playing 3 games in 3 days succession, you're not going to find any rhythm. I'm a big advocate for champion oceans, but if you're losing games, you need to scale it back and focus on playing things that can actually be reliable when you bring it on a stage that are actually at the level in which you're playing against. So that's concerning. Of course, Azir, Nico, and Wei are his 3 most played. So KC make this move. Kana is the reason this team, I think, is going to make playoffs. I think he's just going to kind of 1v9 his way there, and Upset and Targamas are just going to be sufficient enough. Now, LCS moves. Cloud9. Thanatos from DK Challenger is, replacing Fudge. So, he is, if not the top-rated top lane prospect in the world. For Cloud9 to get him, that is a big, big fish to catch. Some people rumored that he would go to KC. I'm happy for Thanatos he didn't do that. Personally, Cloud9, I think, gives him a better opportunity long-term in his career. But at the same time, I will say the expectations on him are through the roof. And for only one split, 14 games, trying to figure it out, he hasn't played Tier 1. Yes, he played in Challenger and LCK, and he was very good. But he has not played in Tier 1, and that's going to be a learning curve. It's also going to be a learning curve playing in a different country, different culture. Like, oftentimes you hear about imports struggling in the Western regions, and in part that is due to culture. Not only from the teams in general, but just life in general. It's a different situation. So the expectations are very high, and rightfully so given his skill. But at the same time, I believe he does deserve some grace. There may be bumps in this road that are going to make people lose their mind. And unfortunately, those people are the loudest in the community, and they tend to drive the narrative. And it is unfortunate because those people, in my opinion, are the bottom tier fan, bottom tier viewer, bottom tier individual in the just honestly, they're useless and worthless. So hopefully this kid gets an opportunity to make mistakes if they come, and has a good career as a result. So 3.9 KDA, 88 CS per minute, 51.9 KP with DK Challenger in 2023. Did not play in spring. 1.17 return on investment. So deals a solid amount of damage. His champion pool is vast. He can play pretty much anything. Those CS numbers are great, of course. He did graduate and earned an opportunity. He should have been in the LCK, but D Plus are doing the smart thing and not selling him to a team that they have to face. 21.4 gold share, 22.3 damage share. We also have to keep in mind the team he was on was an elite team. You had multiple players that were worthy of being in Tier 1. Lucid starting in Tier 1. Rahel expected to start this year. This split. Polbay was playing with Bro towards the end of the split. Whether he does or not, this upcoming split remains to be seen. And then, Bible retired. So that's the thing. But regardless, 155 gold, 5 CS, and 150 XP ahead. Decent, getting ahead of Challenger tops. 45 solo kills, 15 champions played in 117 games. Renekton, Gnar, K'Sante are his 3 most played. Of course, the solo kills is what jumps out to people. That's what people cite when they talk about a player. He's aggressive, and he can make some outplays occur. So Thanatos is in, and Fudge is out. So Fudge's numbers are not terrible. The issue with Fudge is that he seems very one-dimensional at times. He seems to kind of ego pick at times, and that honestly hurts a team. A team of Cloud9 stature with the players that they have and the variety of champions and styles in which they could play at a high level, you need to be flexible, and you need to be able to kind of fit that mold. So if Thanatos comes in and he can play, Renekton, Gnar, K'Sante, but then also pull out an Ornn or pull out a Yone, do whatever he has to do to make the team succeed, that's an upgrade. Just in terms of just getting on the Rift and drafting and playing as a unit. So, 3.5 KDA, 86 CS per minute, 54.1 KP, 1.19 return on investment, 21.5 gold share, and only 21.1 damage share, so slightly less return for the team. However, against LCS tops, he's ahead, 45 gold, 5 CS, 45 XP. Is that a huge amount? No, but he is ahead of LCS tops. 4 solo kills, 11 champions in 23 games. Renekton, Udyr, Olaf are his 3 most played. Fudge should be starting somewhere in the LCS. The fact that he isn't is pretty pitiful. I could see Cloud9 holding back, similar to how I talked about DK. You don't want to play against Fudge. But Fudge is definitely better than, Fake God or Well, Castle leaves a little bit to be desired at times, but definitely Fake God. And he certainly could go to the LEC in hell. Could have played for, shoot, who was it? Hell, he could play for Rogue. I think he's better than Finn by a little bit. Um, Irrelevant is not terrible either. I don't know. Fudge is, you know, players, of course, are escaping me right now. Oh, he definitely could play over the Antonio. There we go. There we go. Fudge should have went to Giant X. Oh, can't. Already 2 imports. Forgot about the import rule. Mistake on my part. Dignitas. So Dignitas swap out 4 of their players. That is the rumor. A couple of these are already under contract. So, top lane, Licorice is in. Rich is out. This was a puzzling move. Licorice should be on a team. Licorice is better than Fake God as well. But the fact of the matter is, Rich, in my opinion, like Odo, but for a different way. He's playing carry orient. He was playing a lot of like tank tops, but still dealing a shit ton of damage on them. And to be honest, I feel like he was one of the better performing top laners really on those teams that you would say, let me rephrase that, very underrated split. The share of damage relative to gold is very high, similar to Odo's. And the fact of the matter is, given how much Dignitas were giving him in terms of share of resources, he really returned the favor in a big way. The rest of Dignitas left a lot to be desired, so Rich probably should still be on the team, in my opinion. So Licorice, 2.8 KDA, 8.1 CS per minute, 49.5 KP last year. Less than half of Golden Guardian's kills, so he was solo dolo in a side lane trying to take turrets. The farm is not great if that's what you're doing, but he did go to MSI, and he also had an opportunity to go to Worlds. 1.23 return on investment, 21.2 gold share, 22.5 damage share. On average, I had 200 gold, 2 CS, 35 XP, 31 solo kills, 15 champions played in 86 games. So aggressive, finds opportunities for outplays. Quesante, Jax, Renekton are his 3 most played. Now Rich, 2.2 KDA, 7.8 CS per minute, 60 KP. So when you have a player that's below 50% KP and only 8.1 CS per minute, but then you have a player at 7.8 and 60, I prefer the 7.8 and 60 because the 7.8 signifies to me he's not getting a lot of resources, but he is involved, so he's doing something here, which is important. 3 out of every 5 kills for a top laner is a lot. Dignitas, a lot of their success occurred with Rich involved. 1.64 return on investment. That's what I'm talking about. The damage from Rich was insane. It was one of the highest in the 4 major regions. He should be starting on a tier 1 roster, in my opinion. 21.1 gold share, 26.7 damage share, even though he was behind 160 gold, 3 CS, and 255 XP at 15 minutes. 4 solo kills, 11 champions in 18 games. Gnar, Quesante, and Poppy were his 3 most played. In the jungle, you have a clear upgrade to Spica over XU. Now, we did see XU go on Twitter, and Dignitas did screw him. They did. If you take his word at what it is, it sounds like they screwed him, which is terrible. And once again, esports shows how silly they can be, and how I don't know, like, you got the thing is, like, honesty is like, there's no reason to not just be straightforward with the kid and be like, hey, we're gonna be, honestly, hey, you left a lot to be desired this past split. We're gonna be looking elsewhere. I mean, you can look elsewhere as well if you want to. Try and make plans. And then people will be like, yeah, but what if they couldn't land Spica? Well, I mean, you tell them, hey, we're willing to keep you, but at the same time, we're going to be looking elsewhere. If players become available, we may make a decision. Instead of guaranteeing him a spot. Guaranteeing him a spot was just an outright lie. Because you weren't guaranteeing nothing. I mean, let's be real. Spica was a free agent. So, It's not like it was a player that came up out of nowhere. Oh my God, I can't believe Jensen is available now. Sorry, Dove, you're out. That's not the situation. It is Spica's been a free agent all season long. So if you've been probably considering Spica the whole time. So hell, maybe you just tell XU, hey, we're going to run scrims with Spica in as well as you, and we're going to see what happens. If you don't get the job, we're more than willing to try and help you find a place to land on your feet. But instead, they promise him something that they can't actually back up, and it's dirty. It is a move that sports teams make, esports teams often make, and it's a shame. So, Spica, a player that of course is upper half LCS junglers. He's very very talented, a solid player, world class. 4 KDA, 5.4 CS per minute, 74.5 KP with FlyQuest last year. That very disappointing super team. 3 out of every 4 kills, very involved on that squad. 1.03 return on investment, 18.7 gold share, 15.8 damage share. So did show carry-oriented potential. He also played a wide array of picks. 120 gold, 2 CS, 0 XP at 15 minutes. 2 solo kills, 12 champions in 48 games. Maokai, Sejuani, Vi were his 3 most played. XU, 2.8 KDA, 5.5 CS per minute, 72.8 KP. 0.83 return on investment, very facilitator oriented. He was not carrying by any means. The damage was not coming out for him at all. 18.1 gold share and only 11% damage share. That is one of the lowest. I believe when I made my gold share, damage share videos, that was one of the lowest when it came to jungles. 115 gold, 1 CS, 75 XP ahead. So down 115 and 1 CS, and then up 75 XP. So given his stature and the way Dignitas were playing, you take it out of him. Honestly, I didn't think he played terribly. There's a reason why the roster is swapping 4 or 5 players. It's hard to blame anybody, to be honest. Certainly don't want to blame Rich. XU, I think it's a clear upgrade, so it is what it is for him, but they just shouldn't have lied to him. 1 solo kill, 9 champions in 18 games. Rel, Sejuani, Vi are his 3 most played. Some people believe guaranteed contracts solve this. I think that there is something to be said for that, but that is a massive thing for the Players Union to try and achieve. That would be something that's like you would have to institute a salary cap and like a hard salary cap to get guaranteed contracts. This isn't Major League Baseball where there are billionaires that own the teams that actually care about the teams. Like billionaires own these teams, but I mean it's a tax write-off as far as I'm concerned to them. Mid lane, hypothetically, I believe Jensen is the guy replacing Dove. So Jensen played with Dignitas last summer, carried best he could in the mid to late game, and tried to deal as much damage as he could, and they got to playoffs but didn't get far in playoffs. Constantly goes to Worlds. 4.4 KDA, 9 CS per minute, 65 KP with FlyQuest this past split. This includes MSI as well. Solid numbers, of course, when he did go to MSI and they did drop out. The team underrated PSG. That's on him and the rest of the squad. 1.49 return on investment, 23.2 gold share, and only 25.6 damage share. The damage really wasn't as prevalent as it has been in the past for Jensen. On average, up 115 gold, down 40 XP at 15 minutes. 3 solo kills, 9 champions in 33 games. Not very aggressive. He is not the type of player that's going to outplay his opponent and get a solo kill. That's just not Jensen's style. He's more of a traditional control mage. Mid laner, Orianna, Azir, Talia were his 3 most played in spring. Replacing Dove. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Dove. Sounds like a good guy. Apparently somebody in the Discord said he also got a little screwed by Dignitas, that they had told him, he had a spot maybe, and he, I guess, stayed here all off season long to learn English, to be better communicator with his team. And maybe that's in part why he struggled at times on Dignitas, and I think that is unfortunate. But unlike the Spica situation, I do believe there's something to be said for, oh wow, Jensen's available. We're sorry, Dove. We do have, we didn't expect this to occur. In which case you do need to, try and make things right, in my opinion. but then again, it is a business. So, Dove, 3 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 65.3 KP. So, not super high resources and not very involved. Hell, Rich is almost as involved as Dove is. So, I think of Dove, I think of a facilitator with IG last year and even Live Sandbox prior to that in the top lane, but it just didn't really happen. 1.45 return on investment, 22.6 gold share, 24.5 damage share. Not a lot of damage coming out of Dove either. Down 140 gold, 5 CS, 115 XP at 15 minutes. You certainly don't want your import to be behind in mid lane in the LCS. That's at that point you might as well have a import used elsewhere. That's not great. So, but communication issues. 5 solo kills, 10 champions in 18 games. Talia, Ari, Oriana were his 3 most played. Then we have Sven for Tomo. Personally, I think Tomo has a bright future. It's unfortunate that this is coming to this, but Sven, he hasn't played 80 carry in a few years, so they're going to give him a go. These numbers are from 2021, so take them for what you will. 5.6 KDA, 9.2 CS per minute, 63.3 KP. So on that 2021 Cloud9 roster, under 2 out of every 3 kills involvement out of the bot lane, particularly him. 1.21 return on investment. Damage numbers may have been much lower then than they are now. So, you know, as the game progresses and patches occur, all of a sudden the game gets more and more damage, and the damage numbers, of course, are just going to rise as a result. So that's a thing. 23.4 gold share, 27 damage share, secondary carry on Cloud9. 130 gold, 5 CS, 135 XP, 5 solo kills, 19 champions in 130 games. That was a long 2021 for Cloud9 and Sven. Kesa, Varus, Tristana, 3 most played. 6 of those 130 games were Senna games. Now, Tomo, very good player. I think he deserves more of an opportunity. Just a throwback to Instinct from a couple of years ago. He deserved an opportunity as well, but that never came to fruition, so that's unfortunate. But Tomo, one of the better domestic 80 carries in the LCS. So 3.5 KDA, 9.2 CS per minute, 67.2 KP, 1.64 return on investment with Dignitas. Did deal big damage. Did come through clutch. I think he had a penta. 23.7 gold share and 29.3 damage share. He was the carry for Dignitas, followed by Rich. Can't blame him for dealing damage. Now, of course, would they have liked more out of him? Yeah, but like I said, you're swapping 4 or 5 players here, so you're blaming all of them. Or maybe these guys wouldn't come in unless you brought in their, players they've played with before. I don't know. Excuse me, but it is a decision. And the bot duo actually were ahead a lot in spring. So Tomo Isles, technically Tomo was ahead 335 gold, 15 CS, 95 XP at 15 minutes. And you're going to say, yeah, well, they didn't play many Senna games, only 1 of 18. So I looked at Isles numbers. Technically, this team is still ahead like 250 gold and 5 CS at 15 minutes as a bot duo. Given the nature of Dignitas' split, I would say it's pretty damn good. For Tomo Isles, I would say that was pretty good. So it is unfortunate that they are out because 2v2 wise, they weren't too bad statistically. 11 champions played 18 games. Varus, Smolder, Zaya were his 3 most played. Now FlyQuest, because Jensen is out, Quad is the starter. I remember watching Quad with Nongshim last year. He's a Cassiopeia one-trick, and his Cassiopeia looked very sus, and in general, the team was sus, and Quad was not absolved from that. He also looked pretty sus. He has played in the past, I believe, with DRX as well. So he is not like a rookie. Let's put it that way. He's not a rookie. This move is a lot like Mask on Immortals, in my opinion. Now, FlyQuest have a very good team. Quad plays more aggressive than Jensen. He dominated NACL, so he gets this opportunity. I'm sure a lot of people are going to look at his numbers from there and be like, oh my God, he's going to be the next greatest thing. And I'm just going to temper expectations because I think there's a bit of a difference between the Academy in North America and the LCS. So, 5.8 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 70 KP. So he's not really getting a lot of farm across the entire game. His resources are depleted in the mid to late game, and there's a reason why I specified mid to late. 1.95 return on investment. I believe he had like 836 DPM. That's insane. Very aggressive, like I said, and that would be a change of pace for FlyQuest. 22.3 gold share, 31.2 damage share. He was the carry for FlyQuest's Academy team. That's without a doubt. And at 15 minutes, he gapped Academy mids. I mean, gapped them. On average, had 535 gold, 17 CS, and 470 XP. So every game he went even. There was a game where he was up over 1,000 gold, over 30 CS, and 940 XP. Like, that's dominant. He earned an opportunity to go to the LCS. Like I said, in the LCK, of course, like I said, Academy and NA, LCS, LCK, bit of a difference. So that is a thing. 18 solo kills, 13 champions of 35 games. Azir, his Cassiopeia, and Ari were his 3 most played. So that move is going to be interesting. It's not as interesting as the Cloud9 move, but it's still a move nonetheless. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.